Okay, so today is Monday, the 27th of July, 2020, and the month is getting to a close very soon, or an end very soon. And obviously, you know that when it's getting closer like that, everybody is ready and happy because we'll be getting some cash. The economy there, it had maybe after the reduction of the communication service tax, when it's fully effective, then perhaps we'll be able to save some cash. But as it stands now, Charlie, economy hard. I know James Brown will disagree with me with all the vehemence he can gather, but the truth is always one. And the truth is, as we speak, the pocket make dry. But hopefully the pocket will not make dry going forward. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. Welcome to Good Morning Africa Show. Welcome to the Newspaper Review segment. Let me say a big thank you to Mordian and Enate for bringing us the 6 a.m. news together with the team, George Venet, Justice Apia, and the rest of the guys. Also to Michael and Chibuesiako for bringing us the sports segment on the morning show. Brazil de facto also bringing us, and the People's Dispatch, I beg your pardon, for also bringing us what is happening in India and around the world. And most importantly, a big thank you to you, the viewers, for choosing Pan-African Television and tuning in. Today is no exception. We're going to make sure that we deal with all the important issues that are of great relevance to you and me. And most importantly, I'm sure yesterday you are very much aware that the president gave his address again. Albeit that many people were really disinterested. I really didn't even listen. I was tired, so I slept. But many people listened to the president speak. And yesterday I had to take to my Facebook page to ask what, now they use a symbol to represent the president. They have this 00 and things like that. So -0 what did he say about the coronavirus and, its attending issues? And in fact, what I was told, I don't know whether it's true or not, is that the president, in his wisdom, and I'm sure in consultation with the technical advisors and the health advisors or the medical advisors, has decided to lift the ban on most of the things that, most of the institutions that were not operational at the time because of COVID-19. And so right now we are told that all the pubs, all the clubs, all the tourist attraction areas, all the hotels, all the churches and mosques are fully operational, I'm told. Yeah? The borders are closed. No. Yes? No? Yes. Borders remain closed. I'm sure the borders will be open after the registration exercise. Problem. Yeah, also, a rather very gruesome event occasioned, I think last week thereabout. I have not really seen the video. I've decided not to look for the video. But a certain 90-year-old woman was lynched for very weird reasons. And we're told that the people said she's a witch. So they lynched her. They lynched this 90-year-old woman with gray hair. Somebody who's grown from 1 to 90 was lynched. Because somebody says she's a witch. Lynched. With stones. She's a witch. Hey. In this day and age, one would have thought that we would have done away with all of these backward, primeval, irresponsible, repulsive actions, barbaric events, within our society. I mean, but I'm happy at least the police has decided to act on the matter. Days after all of us, decided to speak to the matter. I mean, on social media, it's really gathered a lot of fire. People are asking for the police to effect the arrest of these persons who perpetrated this very dastardly act. And I pray that they are really apprehended and dealt with according to the full rigors of the law, so that it will serve as a warning and a deterrent to many people out there who wish to follow, this evil path. But I mean, also on Facebook, a lot of questions have been asked by many people whether or not Major Maxwell Mohammed's death, which was supposed to you know, have been caused as a result of people lynching him and things like that. And because we have, quote and unquote, and with all the respect that I can gather, have decided to not to follow through 100% with the, I mean, we're still in court, but people have not been jailed and things like that. It's what has emboldened others to take the laws into their own hands. I mean, this is just a question that has been posed by somebody on Facebook, and I just wanted to, for us to, you know, wrap our heads around it. Let's process that in our brains and see whether or not it has some, you know, effect, if you will, or if it has some impact on the actions of these wicked women who lynched this 90-year-old woman. It's very, very sad. I'm sure you know that it's definitely going to form one of the topics that we're going to be discussing. 156 factories currently being constructed under 1D1F. Gold Street reported about, also we had a picture of Alan Chemantin on the front page of Gold Street Business, who is indicating that 156 factories are currently being constructed. A lynching of 90-year-old woman, IGP dispatches homicide team to hunt killers. Government eases COVID-19 restrictions as Ghana enters second phase combat against disease. Obri Bwahin threatens to commit suicide if the MPP loses the 2020 elections. So he must rise up and be counted. But he said that by any natural means, the MPP will win, unless there's a supernatural intervention. The MPP is winning the 2020 election. So let's see what happens. Good morning to you, Dr. Nawaane.
Good morning.
It's been a while. I think you've been absent for 2 weeks.
Is it up to 2 weeks?
Yes, it's up to 2 weeks.
Okay.
So you need to slaughter a goat or a ram and appease the gods.
Exactly.
My viewers are the gods. So you need to appease my viewers.
Or I can be termed a wizard and then...
No, we can't lynch you. So Prime Sylvester is also here.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
I love, so today, why did I go Western? If I knew you guys were going to go African, I would have followed that trajectory.
But you're looking handsome, though.
I'm always handsome, my brother. James Brown,
my brother,
is also here. And I've always been telling you that James Brown is the future of the MPP party. Take it or leave it. If you like, hate me for it. But that's a fact. This guy is the future of the MPP. Mark my words.
I'm humbled.
Mark my words. You will see. In just about 5 to 10 years, you will see. James Brown. Write his name somewhere and say that Champion KOD on the 27th of July told you this. The future of MPP. Him, Samia Uku, the few other guys. You know, they are the future of the MPP party. Maybe the future communications director for starters. And then, all right. So, gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Chief.
Let's quickly start the conversation with the assertion that 156 factories are currently being constructed under the One District, One Factory initiative. I want to start with you, James Brown, and I'm sure you know why, because you represent the party that is in power, and you will have a lot of information to apprise us with. And so let me quickly start this conversation with you, and then I will come to Soprano and come to Dr. Mark Angel Kurt Nawaane. James.
All right. Let me again say a very good morning, and especially to everybody who's tuned in to watch us this morning. It's been a long while.
It has.
But finally, I'm here again.
You decided to abandon us.
Well, I think first of all, the idea of the creation of factories is an idea that was born or is an offspring of the manifesto prior to the 2016 elections. And if you understood the, agenda of the NPP back then, you understand that they had a clear agenda to transform the economy. And it was important that the issue of industrialization, became a central point in the transformation of the economy. And if you look at even global, antecedents, you realize that most of the advanced countries, they have survived because they made, pragmatic steps to ensure that their industries are well, functioning. And so in that, arena, you have a broad base for your economy to grow. And so the NPP also decided that in having an agenda to rebase the economy, to make it, very vibrant, there's the need for us to industrialize our economy. That was what gave birth to the idea of one district, one factory. And it was given to the Honorable, what's the name, Alan Tremantin, under the Trade and Industry Ministry to, take absolute charge of that baby. So far, so good. For me, I want to deal with the intention first. The intention is that Ghana, as a young democracy, there's the need for us to, have a very strong economy. And the NPP's idea was to make sure that the youth of this country have an opportunity to remain in this country. And so the need for, back then, people traveling outside this country to go and seek greener pastures, go and work in the same industries that we could have developed here. The NPP thought it wise that we can create these things here. So far, so good. If you listen to the minister, he talked about 232 projects that have been initiated. It means that in every construction, there are phases of, completion.
Yeah.
We initiate it, it may get to a certain level before perhaps we outdoor it and fully functional. And so for me, I'm excited that the much touted one district, one factory agenda, we have initiated 232 projects which are currently ongoing. And in fact, the good news is that 76 out of this 232 have been completed and they are fully operational.
Okay.
It means that some Ghanaian youth have an opportunity to be employed in this area. And it has given employment to people, and not just those who are working in those industries. You can talk about people who also rely on these persons for survival. It has created a livelihood for a number of people. So it's good. And I'm also told that about 156 more are under construction. It means that government is still clear in its mind what it intends to do. But KOD, we must also understand that we are dealing with a pandemic which has brought, an unexpected halt to many of government's activities. There's travel restrictions and all that. Potential investors are not even able to travel around to come and even assess where they can put their money and all that. And so I believe that we should be able to credit government so far and say that indeed, even in the face of this crisis, government has still been able to, put up this number of factories which are, have somehow a number of them operational. A lot more are still under construction, and I believe that now that we have a pandemic, government is also trying to think around it to see how best we can still continue with the project, even though the pandemic still exists. And so it also creates opportunities for government to also look beyond, sitting down and saying that until the pandemic flies away, then the factories or what we intend to do will not happen. No, government is now looking at the opportunities that this pandemic even, gives to us. And I can tell you that in areas of, food processing, in areas like pharmaceuticals and, fabrics, textile, there's a lot of opportunities there that government is exploring. I can confirm to you that at the Trade Ministry, there are a lot of things that are being discussed on the table now, which are going to be, very much beneficial to the Ghanaian people if it so goes through. And so a lot is being done. But we must understand that this is something that has not been done in a long while. And so if a government under this Fourth Republic has come back with an idea to create employment and industrialize our economy, I think that what we can do, or the least we can do, is to support government. I'll be a bit skeptical if somebody who never attempted to even industrialize or concentrate on the building of factories have, boldness to criticize and say that what government is doing, especially after government has completed 76 of these factories, we must also understand that government in its manifesto did not clearly say that there's going to be a government expenditure. This is a liberal party. We believe in a public-private partnership. And so in any way that you want to look at it, the creation of the factory is what is critical. And so if government is able to partner private industries to make sure that we provide employment opportunities to our youth, I think it's very, very, very much an issue that we must credit government for and should encourage government. I believe that if every government comes and builds even just the 76 number of factories in this country, we will not be sitting here and be even talking about a teeming youth unemployment.
Okay.
So
I like how you are going about with the analysis. So I think it's important to break it down for a better understanding. Now, the presumption or the assertion really that you are trying to put out is that government by itself has constructed 76 factories. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that the creation of factories is a baby of the government.
Yeah.
But how it is created, it could involve so many partnerships and other things. And I'm saying that if you read carefully the manifesto of the NPP, government, we didn't say that we are going to use the government purse to create factories. That was not the agenda. We are saying that we are going to ensure that there's district factories at every district. And so government now has to look at ways that we can achieve that. That is critical. And so looking at the tradition of our party.
You know, that's the misconception. Because before the 2016 elections, and I record this very, 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 very well, because at the time, I think I was going somewhere and I had parked at ACP Junction, and I was listening to a banter between Howard Kumsin, no, was it Howard Kumsin? Or somebody else, and then Mutala Mohammed on Joy FM. I remember very, very, very vividly. And then, because of the perception that it was government that was going to spearhead this particular project, people thought that government of Ghana was going to be building these factories in each district. Because if you are asking for investor involvement, right?
Yeah.
So that the investor would now come and put their money into the production or the creation of these factories, then the investor would necessarily identify places of convenience that will make them, realize their revenues, as opposed to just putting up these factories in every district.
For social responsibility.
Yeah, you understand. So then the minister came to clarify and said that, well, government is not the one that is going to be building these factories. Government is going to do so in partnership with private sector. What in some cases government would do is to acquire, for instance, a land or assist the private sector in procuring loans that will make it very possible for them to, So what it then means is that you cannot have factories in every district, because the investor that is coming into the country to come and put up a factory will necessarily put up the factory in places where, they will do their own feasibility studies and know that if I put this factory here, I'm going to generate this X amount of money. That is one. So that assumption has to be, that particular assertion must be clarified very, very well. Now, if you also read what was put out by the minister, and obviously, as you rightly alluded to, that because of coronavirus, the schedules have changed, and then the time that was supposed to finish obviously has also changed. But they cite one thing that I feel we need to clarify. And in all of these, in addition, construction of 36 small-scale processing factories out of total 58 projects under Enable Youth One District One Factory initiative will begin August this year. Okay, in 36 districts across the country. Plans are underway to begin construction. Plans are underway to begin construction of the entire project being jointly financed by Ghana and the African Development Bank in the next 6 months, with an amount of $200,000 earmarked for each of the 56 projects. These processing facilities will be owned by youth groups in all the districts who will be trained and manage and maintain them. This is expected to ensure that the youth are made part of the 1D, 1F project. However, with regards to 1D, 1F factories currently under construction, completion schedules have largely been affected by coronavirus. Goes on and on and on and on. There's one thing here that I found very, where is it? Okay. So importantly, the coronavirus pandemic has presented new opportunities for 1D1F, supported companies in various subsectors of industry, including garment and textile enterprises, that will engage in the production of PPEs, as well as producers of processed foods, fruit juices, pharmaceuticals, among others. So are you saying that all of these knee-jerk, if you will, companies that were put together because of coronavirus to provide or produce PPEs are now part of 1D1F?
Exactly. So
they are all part of 1D1F.
What I'm saying is that you have to look for the opportunities. If an investor wants to invest in a country, you must look at the ready market. In this era, what is trending? What is happening? Where can an investor put his money and then reap? And we are in an era where fabrics and pharmaceuticals and food processing is fetching, and people are patronizing it. And so, if creatively we have put our attention on some of this, setups to make sure that we invest in those areas, I don't think it is far-fetched.
Sorry, I need some education here. How many districts do you have in this country?
275?
276.
276.
Right?
If I'm not mistaken.
276.
Okay.
I think
it's 214.
Hold on. We are supposed to have 276, no?
Is it 275 is the MPs?
Yeah, the constituencies.
Yes.
Okay. 260 districts.
Yes.
260. 260, yeah.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
260 districts. But James,
yes,
out of the 260 districts, how many of them do we have factories at or in?
Well, I can't readily mention, but I am aware we have 76, which I'm sure it is scattered across some number of districts.
So I was wondering.
They're already in existence.
Oh no,
but you see,
majority of the way in existence.
Hold on. The minister says a total of 154 districts out of the 260 districts are benefiting from the program.
They are benefiting.
That's
exactly.
That's my confusion.
The industries are benefiting from the program.
That's
no, but
industries.
This particular
what is the model? Hold on. Let's understand. What is the model of the 1D1F?
The model,
yes. What is the model? I mean,
they are not following.
What is the
they are not following the model.
Yeah, because the model, in my estimation, is to create factories, whether i.e. with either private sector or government, right? It depends, because government also has every business of getting into business.
Sure.
But with this particular model, it appears to me that a country can already, a factory can already be in operation, and then government, appreciating the viability of that particular business, will decide to invest something small in it, and then will construe that to mean one factory under the One District One Factory project.
Exactly.
Well, I think we can.
If I'm wrong,
yes. No, you are not entirely wrong.
Yeah.
But one critical aspect of this One District One Factory is the investment package that government puts in.
When did this investment package come?
No. If you allow me to learn, perhaps you understand.
Yes.
I think from the onset, government had an agenda to set up district factories, but it also came to the attention of government that there are sometimes existing factories which needs, support. You can't bypass an existing factory and say you want to create a new one when the old one has, that potential to expand and employ more. In some cases, it can even employ more than the new factory that you want to create. Okay? So government had to think through that, yes, we want to create a factory here. But if there's an existing factory which can be expanded to take same number of people who we intend to employ, and at the same time increase the potential viability of the existing company, because if a company exists already, it has more mileage than one that you intend to create newly. And so government had that business of thought that what can we do to ensure that we do this One District One Factory properly. And so if government invests in an old factory, government is not entirely wrong. That's what I'm saying, that government, the investment is what is critical. You can use one city to create a new factory. You can use 2 cities to expand an old factory. So what is the big deal out of this? it is the investment that is critical, and government is focused on ensuring that at every district that we have in this country, there's a certain development in terms of factory, so that the people around that area can also benefit from those employment opportunities. I wanted to read something critical at areas where potential investors have not really shown up. Government still, had that mind to ensure that they create a certain. Meanwhile, efforts have commenced to identify. Let me look for this.
You guys are now identifying 4 months to go.
Wait. Okay, so I'm on 1D1F website. Okay, and I think that this particular model that they are implementing is entirely different from the campaign promise. Because if you look at and this is the website, 1d1f.gov.gh, okay, and then it gives you, so when you open, you see a Ghana map, you see pineapple, and they said the target group. Whilst we focus on funding enterprises playing in all sectors of the economy, our emphasis is on identifying high growth businesses in the strategic sectors of the economy. These include 1, input or raw material producer groups, agro-processing and business, textiles and clothing, ICT, pharmaceutical and cosmetics, waste management, distribution and trading, tourism, arts and craft, okay? Says the process, confirming of receipt of application via phone or email, initial screening and due diligence, on-site due diligence, credit assessment, compilation of reports, assessment committee, contracting and disbursement. I don't understand this thing, no.
No, it's simple. It's only giving you an idea where government intends to invest. And so if you're a potential investor, you look at the areas government has projected that it will want a factory in that area. Then you come, you sit down and you negotiate. And so that government is only providing the broad base upon which, So government claims that it has already provided resources to support business promoters to establish 1D1F projects in some districts which failed to attract investment on commercial terms under the program. And so government is not looking at leaving any district out. Like Doc rightly said, there are certain areas that may not necessarily attract investor, attention. But government is focused and saying that it is still putting together measures to ensure that across, every district, there is an investor that is brought in there.
Are you guys not deceiving the public? Hold on. Is the LPP not deceiving the public?
No, what is the deception about?
Because this in 2019, May 7, 2019, the minister, Alan Chemantin, came to say that 181 factories enrolled under one district one factory program. Today you are saying 156. So which is which?
No, enrolled, you see, when you are building, there are levels of completion. When you initiate, you have enrolled that project. When you complete it, it's different. So when we say 100 and something, today we are saying that we have 232. There's nothing deceptive about it. It is in progress. So we should be careful how we paint the picture. We are not interested in cutting source when we have not completed projects. We have given you
cutting source when you've not completed.
Of course.
The one in Korea,
but you saw that in Circle 2. I'm saying that government has told the people that at every level government is updating us. So what is the progress so far? We have 232 projects that have been initiated. Out of these 232, 76 have been completed and they are fully operational. This is government's position. Out of that, 256 are under construction. It doesn't mean that it has not been enrolled. In fact, the first step is to attract an investment. The second is to sign a memorandum or something that is binding. You see?
They've been in existence for long.
No, you can't entirely say that.
Oh no,
the conflict juice was there already. The conflict juice was there already.
It was there. You did a second shortcutting.
Oh.
You did a second shortcutting for that.
Well, what about the textile company at the or Pram?
No. They've all been there.
No.
This tomato factory.
Well, I don't entirely
Wait.
I'm not saying that. I don't know whether we didn't support old factories.
You have not started anything.
Let me try and then.
I think we should allow for a very wonderful conversation today. Because I'm so confused. I'm sure you are also confused. And I'm sure the viewers are also confused. Here is Alan Chemantin, okay, in 2019, 7th of May, saying that, listen. If maybe I'm being mischievous, I don't know. But listen. Another 56, so it says small scale processing facilities, right? Okay. Another 56, okay, being small-scale processing facilities and finance, financed by the African Development Bank will commence before the end of 2019. 200,000 has been earmarked for each of the 56 projects. Okay? The minister said $200,000.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay, goodness.
The 56 small-scale processing facilities will be owned by youth groups who will be trained to manage the facilities. This, according to the minister, is to ensure that the youth are not left out. Okay? So, now he said in communities where there may be an abundance of agriculture commodities, smaller processing plants will be established to help reduce post-harvest losses. Mr. Chairman also noted that the AFDB had earmarked $2 million to commence the implementation of 5 common user processing facilities which will be managed by farmer groups. The minister indicated that some Chinese banks had earmarked $400,000 for the implementation of 8 projects which will be ready to commence implementation before the end of 2019, right? So if you read this one, juxtapose this with this, which it says, plans are underway, to begin construction of the entire project being jointly financed by Ghana and the African Development Bank in the next 6 months with an amount of $200,000 earmarked for each of the 56 projects, right? This is in consonance with what he said in 2019. Now, these present facilities will be owned by youth groups. It's also in consonance. But what is missing is that $2 million.
Or 200,000.
No, there's 200,000, which 200,000, which will be given by the AFDB, which is the same as this, for the purposes of which it's stated here and there, right? So there's no questions about that, right? But I'm saying that Mr. Chairman also noted that the AFB had earmarked $2 million to commence the implementation of 5 common user processing facilities, which will be managed by farmers, unless it has been completed. But because it was not stated in this 2020 review, yes, that was given. So that's why I'm saying that I just need a lot of clarity on the matter. 2019, you say something, unless it was completed in 2019, unless the $2 million was issued by AFDB, okay, to commence the implementation of 5 common user processing facilities, which will be managed by farmer groups. So I don't know whether any farmer groups have done that. Also, the minister indicated that some Chinese banks had earmarked $400 million for the implementation of 8 projects, which will be ready to commence implementation before the end of 2019. I don't know if that has been done as well. That is why I want James to clarify for me.
Well, at the point, I may not have better and further particulars to that issue.
Okay.
But I don't want us to overemphasize the point. What we have said so far is that government's commitment towards establishing the factories is still intact. If you read, from the Trade Ministry online, it says that the 1D1F program is a private sector-led initiative facilitated and supported by government. It is not intended to establish state enterprises, but rather to support companies established and owned by private sector, and when required with government equity not exceeding 30%. An existing enterprise that meets the required criteria can qualify as a 1D1F project. And that's exactly what I'm saying. KOD.
Is it this your manifesto?
No, I'm reading from the Ministry of Trade,
okay,
their portal. What I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with government supporting existing factories. Like Doc is saying, there could be old factories that have been revitalized. It exists. There are also new factories that have been created. For example, when you go to the Volta region, the ministry rightly says that there's this factory called Volta Forest Products Company. It's a entirely new company. And it is in Hohoi. And so there's a creation of old and new. And that is what the government is focused on doing.
There's
government,
a creation of old.
No, I'm saying there's a creation of new, but there's also the revitalization of the old ones, which I believe it is the best thing government has done. Because government cannot also overlook existing factories who just need a push-up and say we want to create new ones. And we have seen that happen in erstwhile administrations where it didn't even take us anywhere. So government is saying that we are supporting everybody once you meet the criteria. And what is the criteria? Government will put in equity. Maybe you want to expand and you need a certain amount. Government can provide that seed funding so that you expand. And government also will ensure that gives you certain terms and conditions so that you meet the same terms and conditions that they may give to new setups. you may also have same conditions that you should also meet. And that is what government has been focused on doing. It's a campaign promise, and we have delivered. This is something which has not happened for a very long time. Really? And so if NPP government has given birth to this, and we are celebrating it today, it is worth celebrating because it is giving employment to the people, and it is rebasing the economy to attract more investors into our country.
Thank you very much. James Brown is the communicator with the NPP, and I'm still looking for
viewers around the world, Africa, online, etc. And Kwame, I think I would like to, start by just giving credit, giving the benefit of the doubt to the government, okay, for having that intent to, seeking to industrialize. I really, think it's a good point. But then again, you see, that is what we expect of government anyway. So I would say that it's in order. However, Kwame, I look at the remainder of the president's tenure, 4 months to go, and then I look at the fact that I do not see continuity in industrialization on the part of this government. What I mean, let me break it down a little bit. When I say continuity in industrialization, so they say that the government says they are working on 156 factories. It's all well and good, but you see, the government came to meet factories, a lot of which are actually in disuse and disrepair, and the government has not done anything to resuscitate most of them. Okay, and so when I look at President Akufo-Addo's effort with regards to these 156 factories the new Patriotic Party is talking about, and I juxtapose the president's efforts against the fact that his mandate has virtually run out. You understand? Then I feel sorry for the vision of President Akufo-Addo insofar as there is no guarantee of continuity. Just as he didn't come and continue where others have left off, this vision of President Akufo-Addo is set to fizzle out at in December this year when we vote him out. You understand? Because the President Akufo-Addo, one of the reasons Ghanaians voted for President Akufo-Addo was because we saw in him a very progressive leader, okay, and we expected that he would transform the way we do politics in this country. But unfortunately, whether through inability or obstruction, he's not been able to live up to those high expectations we have had of him, especially insofar as President Akufo-Addo has not been able to, coalesce the country around the National Development Plan. You understand? Because this NPP manifesto is as good as the rest of the president's tenure. You understand? In 4 months, if the president is not able to complete his strategy in 4 months, it's over. So we had thought that President Akufo-Addo, being of his, ilk, his background, would have, as a priority, advocated and indeed pushed for the passage of a national development plan. Hold on. A national development plan of the sort that, attracts a national following, not the NPP manifesto. The NPP manifesto is not the national development plan. And
you are aware there's Ghana beyond age.
Hold on. But that is the NPP idea.
It is a national idea.
No, it's not. It cannot be a national idea. You know why? No, because there was no general consensus on that.
No, how do you know?
But there wasn't. We all know. Okay, other parties were invited to say no. For national development plans.
Let's proceed.
You see, you recall that I think that the party that was close to getting us a national development plan was the NDC.
Precisely, with Dr. Nimoy Thompson.
Yeah.
They got in fact, they did pass something. They did something.
But they've not. Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe
Yeah. So staying on point, you see. So when President Akufo-Addo talks about his 156, factories that he says are in various stages of completion, then I feel sorry for the vision of the president, because with 4 months to go, unless he's able to complete it, then he is likely to be treated the way he treated his predecessors, insofar as he's not been able to complete what the others started. I mean, for instance, in the immediate past, we talk about the hospitals, etc., that President Mahama started, that Nana Akufo-Addo has not completed. And Ghanaians, we are very sad about the situation that, you know, the government of Ghana, our taxpayers' money, you see, is used to construct these things to certain levels, and then now lizards and snakes, etc., are actually, you know, dwelling in these edifices. You know, meanwhile, we were able to, you know, the Parliament of Ghana, the NPP supermajority is able to vote $24 million for an individual, you know, to build a hotel. And that's a good thing.
Oh, hold on. Let me just go for this quick commercial break. I shall tell you. The viewers, please don't move a muscle. Just stay with us. I'm going for this quick commercial break. We need to make some money, you know. I shall tell you shortly. Stay with us.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
It's incredible! Bang on target!
Hello?
Oh, Sisiana sound.
Okay, what do you mean? Why? My wife comes and send a message. Hello? What's happened?
It's a chunk, but also be a quiet say what? I dare say,
Besides, friend of fair, I'm so here too. My wife not testing messages here, and our officer so I'm trying to tell you, she says, I
mean, so we a guy manu, and may young who could look cry. And also wants a family drilling company limited for Kana.
What's it then? Family Dwelling Company Limited.
Ye two borehole, biofuel, biogas, swimming pool, plumbing works in Naso, ye be, Frey 0240-333-111, and NASA 0244-144-822.
Miampa and we want swimming pool on me fee. We want to, we'll be here. Family Dwelling now. Family Dwelling.
Breakfast is your last shit.
Me out with that shit.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying tuned into Pan African Television. The WhatsApp number is active 0260846539. We're also streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan African Television. Let me say a special good morning to you, Alhaji Baba Seidu Isifu, aka the People's Man, incoming MP for Nalerego Gambaga Constituency. The birthday where you chop, where you alone chop, you have to answer to the gods. You have to answer to the gods. And when you answer to the gods are not to blame. Anyway, let me come to you.
Yes.
Yeah, you're making a point. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I was saying that Ghanaians expected President Akufo-Addo. You know, we love our dear, leader. We love him very well. We think he is, he, especially when he was a candidate, he was talking a very fantastic game. But I think the realities of government, okay, and the inefficiencies and corruption endemic and inherent in our government structure, is probably hampering him. You see, but you see, we in the Convention People's Party, members of the glorious CPP, we cannot just sit down and tell President Akufo-Addo a lie that he's doing well, because by and large he's not really doing well. I keep on saying that because members of the NPP mostly hope that President Akufo-Addo will give them some position, they are not able to tell him the real hardcore truth. But some of us who don't want anything and who are just okay with the way we are, because we love the president and our sense of patriotism in us, etc., we're able to tell the president as it is. You see, so if the president will listen to us, maybe he might yet salvage his presidency, with 4 months to go, but under the circumstances. Because, for instance, Kwame, when you go and set up a shed, when the NPP talks about one district, one factory, what is this factory that they are talking about at all? Kwame, so I did some research, and I found out that when you go, this factory that they are talking about is basically a shed, like, apata, opens on the sides. And one of them, they were peeling pawpaw. So that's one of the factories. The another one, they are cutting up pineapple. It's beautiful that some Ghanaian students who have finished master's degree and university degrees have got a job at some of these one district, one factories, cutting pawpaw after 8 years in university, 4 years in university. We appreciate that the MPP has given pawpaw jobs to university graduates. It's good. But we expected more. You see, we expected more. And then we expected big. When we talk about a factory, we expected something big. Some of the factories the government of the Convention People Party we built, they were employing 700 people. They had integrated, systems that were, operating at internationally competitive levels. 60 years ago, Ghanaians, please, 60 years ago, we were doing big things. And so today, our dearly beloved president, our dear leader, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo builds a pawpaw slicing factory in some village somewhere, and then they come and tell us that it is one factory. That is not a factory. It is a cottage industry. We have to tell the truth to the president. You understand? You cannot build cottage industries and come and tell us it's a factory. It is not a factory. A factory is like the Gihok cannery, the Insawam canneries that Mrs. Rollins has taken over. I think the diversity implementation, when Honorable Kwame Owusu was doing diversity implementation, and they said that Ghana government could not afford to keep Insawam cannery, then somehow the president's wife got money. You see, the president of Ghana, his government could not maintain Insawam cannery, but somehow the first lady got money to buy the cannery. You see, Ghanaians, these are some of the things. So we are saying that the president, we want to see big things, big factories, like the Commander factory, like the Gihok factory, shoe factory, jute factory, the Palugu, beef factory, the tomato factory, not these pawpaw slicing entities that the NPP wants to foist upon us. Pawpaw slicing factory or pawpaw slicing workshop masquerading as a factory. We will not accept that. It is not a factory. It is a pawpaw slicing, cottage industry. And so we want the president to live up to the expectation we have of him. It's 4 months to go, but President Akufo-Addo, you can still do it. We continue to have faith in you. For instance, when they talked about one district, one factory, when you just read the paper, there was the talk of ICT. in the mix. You understand? We had thought that the president, and let me give a free idea to the president and the new Patriotic Party. For instance, when you go to Tiptoe Lane in Accra, that is a center for things like that, ICT related stuff. We had expected and hoped that if the president couldn't even get money and he insists on private sector participating with him or partnering with him to do stuff, that even that they would have extended a broadband internet, make the Tiptoe Lane a hub, an internet hub, okay, where we could be doing things ICT. But instead, the president is focused on these pawpaw slicing industries in the bush. Now, we don't have anything against pawpaw and those who cut pawpaw, the university graduates who finish school and are cutting pawpaw under this Akufo-Addo economy. But we want to see the president do big things, because we in Ghana, we don't have time for small little things. When President Nkrumah and the CPP were in government, you all know what we did. Everything we did was big. Akosombo, big. Motorway, big. The schools we built, big. You understand? Everything we are doing was big. University of Science and Technology, big.
Baku,
big. Help me out. They will build the Nyanyibaya Estates. Your government, the leadership of President Edward Akufo-Addo and Prime Minister Dr. Buzia was when we started to go down the, slide down the slippery slope into the abysmal environment we currently dwell. You understand? So what I'm saying here is that the president can do better. Okay, you talked about the fact that you cannot bypass. Brown, when you were speaking, you said you cannot bypass old factories to build new ones.
When they express interest.
No. What I'm saying is that, you see, take note that the factories that the Convention People's Party built during our administration, okay, were built with massive loans and taxpayer dollars. You understand? And they are still standing, incidentally, speaking to the quality of the work we did for Ghana. Okay, what is stopping the president from resuscitating some of these industries? But you see, the president of Ghana today, His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, doesn't seem to want to do anything that sort of puts President Kwame Nkrumah in positive light. That's why 4 years into his presidency, he has never been to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. And we are saying that until he goes there and go and pay his respect to President Kwame Nkrumah, who created Ghana, he will not be able to do big things. That's why he's doing small pawpaw slicing factories and stuff like that. You understand? We want the president to give credit to the leader of Ghana, the first president of Ghana. You understand? Can you believe President Akufo-Addo has never been to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park? Why? What did President Kwame Nkrumah do to him? Okay, so we are saying that, what we are saying is that the president should, pick up the game. You understand? We believe that the MPP, they do have the men, at least that's what we thought initially. But I think that maybe there are too many cooks in the kitchen right now, because the current confusion is very sad, very, very sad. But in conclusion, I'll just say that one area that the president has performed that I find quite interesting and exciting is with regards to these galamsey gangs. You see, the boys in the, where they do galamsey, the president's administration, the NPP has organized the youth into groups, legally constituted groups, so that they can mine as artisanal miners, in a prescribed manner. And I think that pathway is a very positive way of looking at the galamsey situation, in the medium to long term, to change it positively, and by enabling or, requisitioning the requisite or needed skills that our youth can use to transform the game. You understand? This is the sort of thing that President Kwame Nkrumah will be happy with. And I know that President Nkrumah, at least in regards to this small little success by President Akufo-Addo, the President Nkrumah is smiling at President Akufo-Addo, even though President Akufo-Addo has never been to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park in 4 years, sitting in the Flagstaff House that President Kwame Nkrumah created. So, Kwame, in conclusion, all I'm just saying is that I guess the president is doing his best, but his best is not good enough. We are very sad at the rather medium-level performance of President Akufo-Addo with regards to these factories and its attendant job creation abilities or inabilities. You understand? If the president was to think big, like we in the Convention People's Party think big, and do big things like the members of our party do, he would have probably have a guaranteed hope for continuing to stay at the Flagstaff House.
Thank you very much.
But under the circumstances, we will take the keys in.
Dr. Nawaane, let's now come to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kwame. Let's start it this way. How many of us are here? We are 4 here. Most likely from 4 different districts. Yes, let's carry out a survey and see whether somebody can call the name of the factory. I'm from NABDAM. There's nothing that I can call. No. Well, that I know. I'm educated.
I live in Domekwabenya.
Very good.
I have not seen anything like that.
Very good.
I'm from Elmina. I've not seen anything like that.
Very good.
Mankesim, nada. Akabuem, nada.
Me too.
I've been to all these places different times. So
yeah.
Let me just show you. I'm living in Domekwabenya.
Yeah.
And the only thing they've managed to do is not do roads. We are suffering. and then I'm also from Asokwa, where Patricia.
Okay.
Apia happens to be a relative.
Okay.
You know, she's also doing nothing. My relative.
What about the 1D1F?
You should go there. It's as if the roads in Asokwa have been bombarded.
The last 4 years.
Nothing. Patricia you should step down or something like that. She's not really doing much.
What about 1D1F?
Brown, in your area?
Yes, in your area.
I'll provide a list of all factories.
No. I just want your constituency.
No,
your district, rather.
No, a lot is happening, and I'm sure I'll give you the list.
You will give us the list.
I'll give you the list.
What district?
Let's proceed.
I'm from Accra Metro, but I'll give you the list.
You will give us the list.
Yeah, a lot is going on. So I'll give you the list.
Your metro.
I want him space. You will give you the list.
It could even be more than one.
Yeah, I'm just telling you that.
If it's more than one, then you've been disingenuous with the other.
That is exactly what is happening.
No, I'm saying
that is exactly what is happening.
What
is happening is
attention. Well, an investor wants to put its money.
So then what did you say? What is one?
No, you don't get to. Government even has said that where investors have not shown interest, government has found seed to go there. But if you're an investor and you want to put your money in Pan-African TV, would you be persuaded to go elsewhere? If you say this is where you want to put your money.
It is not one district, one factory.
So, I mean, if somebody's money, let's not push it so much.
In order to say that they have not failed, and we know that they have failed woefully, they don't have anything new to provide. This last 5-6 months that are left, they don't have anything new to provide, and they have failed woefully. So what they are doing is that, somewhere I think last year, they brought last year, somewhere early last year, 2019, they brought a new list of incentives for industries that will agree to enroll into the 1D1F. In other words, if you are a factory and you don't want to enroll onto that program, automatically you will not enjoy those incentives. And most of them, they were related to tax waivers. 1D1F had a whole list of tax waivers. If you are bringing this for your industry, you not pay tax. You not pay tax. Majority of the tax that you were supposed to pay upfront, in order to establish your factory, or in order to keep your factory running, or to provide some of the raw materials to run your factory. If hitherto you were paying tax on them, if you join the 1D1F program, you will not pay. And this is how they used to entice factories who were operating normally, and they were paying their tax to government. Remember that there was, once upon a time, there was government that came before this current government, including that of NDC, were helping industries or farmers who were producing crops for export. Yes, where you could even access loans from the banks. This program was there. There were industries, whatever it is. There were industries, they were producing. They were producing. They were canning. Yes, they were canning. And were making even this fruit juice, etc. from the farms. There was a time that I remember very well, even President Mahama went around, did shortcutting for NS Pharmacy, Danida,
yeah, I remember.
Then Adams. All this was to the pharmaceutical industry.
Pop-up interest, yeah.
Yes, pop-up interest. They were able to give loans to these pharmaceutical industries to add extra lines to their production distance. Kina farmer. So if you come and say that these things are new, then as if it's only this government that has come to help some industries. It is false. What this government has come to do is that they've realized that right from the beginning, the policy is wrong. It is never true that you can have, at this stage of our development in Ghana, you can have every place producing their raw materials to feed into a chain that will produce an end product by a factory, and from there for consumption and export. It is not possible that one district can do that. Raw materials, from raw materials to a chain probably, processing, like you're saying that they're cutting pawpaw. From there, then it moves on to a factory that will produce the juice. From the juice, then it might go into the cosmetic industry, or it could also go into the consumption industry. There is not possible that one district alone, standing as a single unit in all districts in Ghana. We didn't say that we're doing it in some districts. In all districts in Ghana, without complementing each other, without thinking of some form of a regional focus, where a region can come together and say that, no, we are good at producing granules, and so we've got enough lands for granules, and so we will be able to get granite oil for export, etc. This, your policy, you did not think through. You are now going around begging people to join with incentives. Incentives that, in fact, everybody would like to join. I would like to join. If I'm producing tomatoes, and my friend is also producing tomatoes, and he joined from Accra Metro, and because of that, he's not going to pay tax on whatever he brings in. I'm also in Accra Metro, producing tomatoes. I'll also join.
But you have a condition.
I also join. I also join. I'm saying that I will also join.
Just giving money to companies.
Whatever it is, what I know is that you must be politically connected well. Oh, it's true, it's true. This is your program. No. This is your program is simply out of place. It was not well thought through. And it is being forced on Ghanaians using their money. In the long run, you complain of revenue falls, etc. The company was even operating. Most of all these companies you are talking about, they were in existence. They have only been recruited to join a program with some juicy, tax-free, such that we can, and some of these companies, by joining the 1D, 1F, you see that, some form of directors and other people from the ruling government are able to get a place, on their boards, etc. You know what happens, when they get onto the board to get some money. If you go there, you don't have those type of connections, you can't agree to set terms. Then you've got to employ people. What type of people are they employing that the unemployment situation is so high that we've got to create NAPCO, etc. There's no employment going there. The only thing is these directors, they try to massage on the board to bring in some more MPP people to come into or the big men who are already big anyway, to get into the directorship and still siphon money out of these poor companies. How can the companies survive? So what we see is that most of these companies are not actually doing very, very well.
Okay.
They are worse off than before, because they've got to pay some monies that they were not paying. They only used to pay their tax.
Thank you.
Whenever it was possible.
Thank you.
You know, so the program has failed. If you want to always check, just get, whenever you get any number of people, 30 people, just get their districts. When you're able to get their districts, let them name the name of the 1D, 1F in the districts that you find. You can carry out a survey. Anybody at all can carry out this survey.
Thank you very much.
We don't need any distance, you know.
Thank you.
Any special or somebody with some specialty to carry out this type of survey for us.
Very well. Thank you very much. Well, you are still watching the News for Review segment on Pan-African Television with me, Kwame Owusu Danso. Let me remind you again that the WhatsApp number is active. It's 0260846539. And we are also live on YouTube, youtube.com/Pan-African Television. And you can also watch us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. Also, I've shared it on my own wall, Kwame Owusu Danso. So just go on Facebook and look for Kwame Owusu Danso, Kwame Owusu Danso on Facebook. And you can get to watch the morning show live on my wall as well. Obiri Bwahen threatens to commit suicide. And this story was captured by the Inside newspaper. And he cited reasons why he may commit suicide. Or he's threatening to commit suicide. You know, threatening to commit suicide in itself is a crime. Anna Mebwa. Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting
Threatening to commit suicide in itself is a crime. Threatening to take your own life is a crime. Anyway, Soprano, let me start with you. And I'm sure you've read the story.
I just saw the headline in the first.
But you had an opportunity to read the story. I mean, he's giving reasons why he claims the MPP will win the elections hands down.
Okay.
If you don't, the master look at that, he will kill himself.
Oh, seriously? Well, I mean, we in the Convention People's Party are happy to pay for the coffin. And I'll say that straight off the bat, because we are confident that we will be able to defeat President Akufo-Addo at the polling station in December.
Who?
The glorious CPP.
With which flag bearer?
That is, yet to happen. We will choose the flag bearer. And people will laugh. But I want to remind Ghanaians that the history shows that we are on point. President Liman, who was overthrown in a coup d'etat by President Rawlings, and President J. Kufuor, all part of the NDC peoples, President Liman, was elected to lead us 3 months to the election. And we trounced the Dankwabuzia people, They fell into disarray, Victor Owusu and the other gentleman.
At the time,
yes, sir, people
were outraged and boiling with anger.
Sure.
Wanting to just get these Dankwabuzia people out. Because they
felt that... What time is that?
The time that you're referring to. So all the Nkrumahs came together. As it stands now, most of the Nkrumahs have defected to the NDC. So which power, who is going to do what for you? Well, unless you go and sack all those people to come and join.
No, Kwame, do not be...
Master, don't take it. Let's be realistic.
I'm being very realistic here.
2020 elections.
Otherwise, why?
I know Adi Amdatu is watching, should be very upset with me this morning. But the truth is that the CPP is ill-prepared to win any elections now.
Well, and I'm saying that, I hear you. But I pointed to a historical precedent that in 1979, the situation was like it is today. Look,
what political parties were in existence at the time?
In 79, we had the Popular Front Party, the UNC, Pauli, PNP, which was the CPP at the time, because the name CPP had still been banned, and a few other parties.
Which party won?
The PNP, Dr. Liman, members of the glorious CPP, our tradition.
No, which party won? PNP.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's the point I'm making.
But the PNP is CPP.
Yeah, but at the time, you didn't have NDC.
Oh, I see where you are coming from. Listen,
NDC took all your members.
Well, our members...
This one here, I'm sure, was CPP.
Let me make this point. Let me make this point.
As a student.
Yes.
Let me make this point. Let me make this point. The reason why
what the party do business. That's the problem.
Kwame, let me make this point though. You see, Kwame, there is a new generation within the CPP that is inspired by the vision of Kwame Nkrumah to do right by this country. You understand? The fact that some members of our party or sympathizers have drifted away to the NDC is largely because of Dr. Obeda Samuel's political astuteness at that time. You know, Dr. Obeda Samuel, former Attorney General. Okay, and I think that, you know, remember that the PNDC was really interested in enforcing the ban on the name CPP. Okay, so they did all they could, being that they were incumbent and having so much resources, to throw the CPP into disarray. You understand? But the fact that we are still here today, despite everything, is adequate proof that we are an enduring tradition and that we will find our feet again. The year to find our feet is this year. Ghanaians have tasted NDC under President Mahama, and they didn't like it. So then they voted for President Akufo-Addo, and now they want to run away. The country is prepared for the glorious CPP, and we have an agenda that will put jobs in everybody's home and make sure that Ghanaians live with work and happiness. Please, I'm listening to you, my brother.
You know I love CPP.
Yes, sir.
You know I wish to be part of CPP.
Yes, sir. But you're welcome, Kwame.
The truth of the matter is that you people, the CPP,
yes, sir,
is so disorganized.
But Kwame, if you don't come and help us to organize,
we
should soak this Gary for you to come and eat.
Unless you are able to change the structures within your party.
But we need people like you
to make it more appealing to the youth.
We are working on it.
And you are working on it.
Yes, and then I can tell you, no, Kwame, I can tell you that at this point, Kwame, we are, because let me put it this way: the NDC is working on winning the election. The NPP is working on winning the election. We in the glorious CPP we are working on winning the election. Kwame, you see, when Donald Trump won the election, it took everybody by surprise, because according to conventional wisdom, Ghanaians, according to conventional wisdom, Hillary Clinton was supposed to win. You understand? But the voters thought otherwise. All I'm saying is this: the youth of this country have been let down repeatedly and serially by the clueless duopoly of the NPP and the NDC. There's no way anybody can convince most of the youth. Last night, I went to a small, get-together, a friend, some sheep, some drinks. And I met in
this corona era.
Yes, there were just 7 of us, so it wasn't like a big gathering. But there was a youth there, a boy in his second year at the University of Ghana. Okay, and he was so despondent. He has lost so much faith in whether he can have a bright future in his own country. Okay, and I had to encourage him. Okay, and show him some of the CPP strategies to salvage the future of the youth in this country. The youth of this country have come to the conclusion that unless you know somebody close to the president, you can't really make things happen for you. You understand? The youth of this country, they have had their spirits broken by the repeated inability of subsequent governments, especially in this dispensation, that is the NDC and the NPP, inability to create jobs for the youth. The youth, they are very, very despondent and terrified about the fact that they still continue to sleep in their daddy's living room. Even when he's 35 years old, he's still waiting for the daddy to go to the bedroom so that he will put a cloth on the floor in the sitting room and sleep there. The youth of this country, because they cannot get jobs, they cannot marry. So you have the situation whereby, they continue to be sinning in the eyes of the Almighty. You understand? Because they are not marrying, they are in amorous relationships. They cannot even afford a room where they can go and hold each other if they want to hold each other. So sometimes at night, when you are walking around under, plantain trees and by the wall, you see our youth, in certain compromising positions. And it's all because the governments repeatedly are not able to create jobs. So the youth people, they are not able to get married. The young girls are growing, so all of them have become slave queens. Because this is serious. Because the NDC and the MPP are not able to produce jobs. Most of our university graduates right now, when you talk to them, they tell you proudly, if you can imagine, I'm a fraudster, me fraudo. And They, you know, can you imagine that somebody goes to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in this dispensation, this Fourth Republic, and when they finish, what they are able to do, the only opportunity that they are able to get, you understand, is to go online and defraud people. You understand? And this is rampant. It is all over the country. You know what I'm saying is the truth.
Absolutely.
You see, and this is the bane of the youth of this country under the new Patriotic Party and under the National Democratic Congress. You understand? It is only the glorious CPP who has what it takes.
Unfortunately, the CPP is either in bed with one party or the other. My brother, let's be realistic.
No, Kwame.
Truth is, what I'm saying is,
we are not prostitutes. We are not prostitutes. We CBP, we are not prostitutes. We are not sleeping anywhere. The only bed we are sleeping in is President Kwame Nkrumah.
You don't have money to even organize your party.
Kwame,
how would you organize your party?
Kwame, the goodwill of
you don't even have one single one member of parliament in Ghana's parliament. Not even one.
Kwame.
And I'm sure I'm not a prophet, but I can prophesy today that you will not have a member of parliament in this year's election.
So if we get a member of parliament, what will you do for me?
I'll quit my show for you.
For real? Kwame, are you sure?
I'm telling you.
Because we are going to get about 7. At least. The Ghanaian youth, they want to do something different. If you're a young person listening to me right now, you can be sure that if you vote for the MPP,
disgrace me. If you're a young man,
if you vote for the MPP and the NDC, you can be sure that the status quo will continue. The situation will remain the same. You will not get a job. You will not be able to marry your girlfriend. You will continue to sleep in your father's hall. You understand? And all of these unfortunate situations.
Continue to sell dog chains.
You continue to sell dog chains. You understand? But if you vote for the glorious CPP, you see, you have the opportunity of work and happiness. And then finally, Kwame, I'll just say this. Okay, what do you have to lose, my fellow Ghanaian, voting for the CPP? Under the circumstances, when you look at the MDC performance and you look at the MPP performance, I mean, what do you lose if you vote? No, Kwame, but in any case, one other thing is this. Are you not tired of the way the NPP and the MDC keep on justifying themselves? Ghanaians, is it not time that we tried a new party like the CPP? What do we have to lose at all? You think you lose a job because you already don't have a job?
Don't worry. When I create my party, National Youth Front.
So Kwame, Dr. Obri Buahen, Mr. Obri Buahen, the renowned lawyer from Sunyane.
Yeah. I like the way he talks anyway.
Sure, if he insists
in his language.
If he insists on the inevitable, you see, because the current president, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, is going to lose to the Convention People's Party. So if Mr. Obri Buahen wants to do what he wants to do, I will donate a coffin to him. We will give him a free coffin. You understand? But we advise him not to commit suicide. We want Mr. Obri Buahen to stay alive so that
he can defeat
so that he can. More importantly, Kwame, apart from the defeat, which is inevitable, or of the MPP, which is inevitable, if Dr. Nana Obri Buahen maintains his life and does not throw it away due to what is inevitable anyway, then he will have the opportunity. Nana Obri Buahen will have the opportunity. To live in a prosperous Ghana where the youth in his neighborhood have jobs, so that they won't keep coming to his house to say, Nana, this morning we've not eaten food. Nana Obri, don't they come to your house every day to ask for money? Are there jobs in your area? So if you vote for this, when the CPP comes into power and Nana Obri Buahen is alive, we invite him for lunch.
You know what they say about himself. You know what they say about success?
It breeds,
they say success is when opportunity meets preparation.
Okay.
Your party.
Yes.
Even if the opportunity is, are you prepared?
Well, Kwame, I think we are prepared. But my point, I'm asking you.
Let's be very
yes.
I'm being very honest, very candid, very sincere.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Your party, CPP assistance now.
Yes.
Is it a party that can take over from either the NDC or the MPP and run smoothly the administration of this country?
With alacrity. We can do so in a heartbeat. We have the human resource capacity.
As for human resource, I don't doubt.
The human resource is the ultimate resource.
There's no modicum.
There's the ultimate resource.
There's no modicum. There's no scintilla.
It's the ultimate resource. We have people like Engineer Robert Wood in our house.
I mean, there's Justice. There's Mr. Justice Hineku.
We have people. We have
Nanaya Jantwa.
We have Mr. Pratt.
You see, there's Nanaya Jantwa.
You know.
There's
There's Soprano.
There's Soprano.
Yes, here I am. You know,
there's Yirimambo Moses.
You understand?
You know,
there are a lot of people who are waiting. Dr. Nimoy Thompson, he simply seconded himself to help the national effort at the NDPC. You understand?
But he is CPP.
He is CPP.
All right, thank you.
Understand?
Thank you.
In fact, finally, you see, we in the CPP, we think we have a surprise for Ghanaians over the next month or so. We expect that President Rawlings will announce that he's joining the CPP.
Thank you very much. I gave you a lot of time to speak because I know that CPP needs reorganization, and you can perhaps speak more for them.
Thank you.
I'm not giving you a lot of time as I did Soprano. Please.
If Obriagwa wants to commit suicide, it is his own headache. I mean, we know that the next elections, even this thought that has come into his head gives us some information. And that information is that, yes, they've come to that that line that they know that they can also lose. And now he's practically throwing the towel to let people know that, yes, we are ready to lose, but when we lose, our commit suicide. I think he should be invited by the police. Yeah, no. They should immediately invite him and let him give some clarification and explanation here and there. And if there's the need to give him some caution or warn him, they will do it. Or if there's the need for him to be restrained or arrested, they should do so. Because we are all practicing democracy.
Yes, sir.
And with democracy, the outcomes are clear. If you look at the history of our country, from the Fourth Republic, it's either a win for NDC or a win for MPP. And this election is no exception. So why should he be drawing such conclusions? Now CPP really wants to lay claim to also the win position.
So that is a formidable party.
Yeah. So that really increases the interest. And so if he's saying something of this, they should just invite him. Because we always joke with, when something is, there's always, clouds before the rainfall. So these are the signals that this man is most likely to commit suicide. We shouldn't joke with it. So the police and other authorities should invite him and let him and take his statement. At least they should take his statement and do whatever they are supposed to do.
Thank you. My brother. Obrigado says he wants to kill himself.
Well, I think
I was sure that he's joking.
Come again.
It's not a joke.
He's very serious.
No, the man is serious. The man says he will take his own life.
But KOD, sometimes the language interpretation could mean so many other things. So
yeah.
I remember he granted an interview in the local language.
Yeah.
That's what we.
Yes, on Kingdom FM. Sometimes when you read the headlines, the interpretation, the language, it is too daring. But I don't think Obrigado, as a lawyer, I know he understands the issue much more better. And I don't think he would deliberately make such, statements that would, draw all sort of attention on him and all that. I mean, we want him alive. And so I don't think we would ever encourage anybody, even including members of the opposition party. Nobody at all should try and commit suicide because we want everybody to enjoy the second term of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo because he is determined to make Ghana more prosperous than it is in his second term. But I think the circumstances under which Obrigado made those, statements that I think has been misinterpreted is quite clear. If you read the story clearly, it tells you that he was so sure of the second term of the new Patriotic Party. And he said that in the contest, that given the efforts that the government has put in, he's so certain that the next government will definitely be an NPP government. And that was the circumstances under which, and he has every right to make that claim. He has every right, and frankly, he knows that his suicide supposedly will never happen because he is sure that MPP will win the second term. So if you are waiting for him to commit suicide, it won't happen. That's why he can tease you with a certain suicide that he may never commit, because the NPP will campaign on its record, and the NPP has that assurance that given the track records of both governments, and I will even concentrate. I will not concentrate on my brother Soprano. I know how relevant he wants to feel in this conversation, because the CPP, the CPP is not. He's not small. It's not a target at all.
He appreciates. How relevant you want to feel in this conversation? He's so kind.
But obviously, you put it to him that the December 7th election is an election between the NPP and the NDC.
Unfortunately, but that's what it is.
The coolest do. Unfortunately, I mean the pundits would say same. And so the focus really is how we win the election and will not, jeopardize the future of this country.
Even for me saying this, I know that one of my godfathers will not be excited.
Will not be happy at all.
Because Ayariga APC, is watching this morning, and I'm sure he will call me after the show or send me a message. Now, Kwame, why did you ignore my party? Let us go for this quick commercial break. Stay with us. I'll return shortly for us to continue with this conversation. But when we come back, we're going to be discussing the lynching of the 90-year-old woman, which has sent shivers down the spines of many Ghanaians. We will definitely get to the bottom of this particular matter. Stay with us.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Let me read a few of the messages before I discuss the last issue for today. SDF party, Soprano, I think this is directed at you. SDF party formed by lawyer Ibrahim Mahama, which supported PNC on runoff to win the election. So I think he just wants to bring something to your notice. That there's a certain SDF party that was formed by lawyer Ibrahim Mahama that supported PNC on a runoff to win the election. I don't know what he's talking about. Hassan from Tamale.
You should come again. I'm not understanding.
PNP.
PNP.
I think PNP.
Yes.
Just a party
from 79.
SDF. Yes, it existed. Yes, there's one like.
And then we also sowed some discord within the Dankwa Buzia people.
But I thought he was with PFP rather. So he was like
Popular Front Party.
Yeah, Popular Front Party. That man was with the Popular Front Party.
Sure, okay, sure.
Like
in fact, it is sad, and the saddening, the murder of the old lady in somewhere in the north, the police must act fast to bring the perpetrators to book. And they were lynching the woman in public, broad daylight.
Yes.
No, you know I've not been able to see that video.
I can't watch it.
No, you start watching it, but very soon you start turning away. You know.
But I've not even seen it crowd. No, I mean I was at sea when my wife
and I asked myself, was standing there.
So my wife was telling me about it. I'm like, what is this? Like I don't get what is this old woman? He said, then you are not in this country. You know.
And there were people just standing there watching.
Oh, people were standing there. All those people must be arrested.
Yeah, precisely.
In law, all those people are accomplices. They must be arrested.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A government of the CPP would have arrested everybody by now.
Kwame, the youth of the country are eager to get a job. So when the president said one village, one factory, one district, one factory, the youth were happy to vote for him. But it was after voting that he changed his words, that the factories are not to be built by the government but by private individuals. Fine, he can't fool us. Kwame, if MPP really means one village, one factory, one district, one factory, in order for the youth to get a job, why have they abandoned the numerous factories built by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? You didn't add your name. Precisely, it is precisely the case, which is why I wanted to, because I know that you remember even the one village, one dam. The initial communication was one village, one dam, simplicity. It was not specific to the north.
Sure.
From the very beginning, I remember this very closely. After subsequently, I was listening to Peace FM. They said, "Oh no," but they said that the one village, one dam is for only the villages in the north. I said, but you said one village, one dam, which presupposes that every village in this country would have a dam.
If I may just add briefly.
No, but I don't know if you remember this thing.
I do remember critically.
And it was in this is in the same light as this one.
Kwame, you see, a couple of months ago, I went to the Kentampo area, a place called Tahiri Ekura. And you know, I spent a couple of days there, and the people there were crying. They said they voted for Nanado. Even the elderly man I spoke to, he says, you know, they usually in that area voted for the NDC. But when Nanado came to the area and he said, I'm begging you, my fellow Ghanaians, I'm begging you. They said they looked at this elderly, distinguished Ghanaian and his ideas, and they said, let's give him a chance. Because Tahiri Ekura, they don't have water. The water that they drink is from a hole, and they drink it with their cattle. I hope Honorable Amoakohene is listening. That the people...
What is the place again?
Tahiri Ekura. It is after Babato Kuma. You know, the barrier.
I don't know
on the way to.
But my correspondent in Bono, Kitapo is Bono where?
Yeah, Bono.
East, Bono. Yeah, Bono. I beg you, try and find
Tahiri Ekura. It is terrible. The people share in President Akufo-Addo's 2020 Ghana. People are drinking water. When the cow finish drinking water, then they come and fetch it.
Okay,
you know.
This is what I want to do. Okay, I personally want to embark on some of these tours in the country before the elections, right? I'll be visiting as many villages I can as possible, but I would need support, obviously. So if you want us to do this, at least we need to try and highlight some of the challenges that the people are facing within our villages.
Yes,
not just even the district communities, villages, typical villages. All right, water issues, light, whatever. I just want to bring all those issues out. So I'll put them together as in the form of a documentary. And then I'll air it on Pan-African television. But I'll need financial support because I can't do this by myself. And it's something I really want to do, actually.
It's laudable.
I really want to do this nationwide, as many regions as possible that I can visit.
Tahiri Ekura.
But it should form part of the places that I would visit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
God bless you, Kwame.
Okay, all right. Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, so I'm just saying that...
The woman that was lynched there.
Yeah, so anyway, you want me to handle that?
Yes.
But of course, and thank you for the opportunity. Kwame, I'll quickly start by...
Oh, I was reading messages, right?
You were, but if you want me to talk...
No, so you just talk.
Sure.
Yeah.
You see, Kwame, immediately I'd like to place the blame on the government of Ghana. You understand? To begin with, as the prime suspect under the circumstances. Kwame, you see, we did not, in this country, appear to have a viable mental health, policy approach. I'm sure there's a policy because Ghana, we always sign all the policies and everything, but then implementation. You see, so Kwame, what is happening is that we have lots of old people who have gotten who are afflicted by certain maladies, brought upon them by, aging. Okay, so for instance, there are lots of people who, like the elderly lady who was lynched, for instance, this grandmother, vulnerable grandmother.
Could be great grandmother.
Yeah, she could have had, she probably had Alzheimer's, or dementia or something like that. This thing.
What did she say? What did she do? Why did they lynch her? What's the story?
Prince has said she is a witch.
Who said it?
So they said she is responsible.
And for the death of
no, there's no rain in the area. It hasn't rained for some time, and so she's responsible for that.
It's so medieval.
No, this is very primeval. Like this is backward.
Yeah, Neanderthalian, you know.
I'm telling you.
So Kwame, the point is that because the government has directly or indirectly abdicated on its mental health responsibilities, insofar as it's not able to adequately resource the mental health infrastructure and personnel in this country to adequately handle such instances, I place the blame on government. And by the way, in abdicating its role with regards to mental health, okay, it has created an opening, a deadly opening for our Ghanaian citizens with mental health challenges. And this deadliness, okay, is seen especially in our churches. Please, and I'm not attacking the churches per se.
Master, that's the truth.
Thank you.
Always calling people witches and wizards, and your grandmother is this and that.
Kwame,
why would people be killing people?
Kwame, when you go to some of these churches, in case the government is not aware, and in case the National Commission on Civic Education people are not aware, they chain people with mental health issues. They chain them with manacles, like slaves in a slave dungeon or in a ship on its way to America to deliver black people to go and die and suffer. They chain them and to a tree. Okay, I've seen this thing severally. Okay, and these people are maltreated, and so you have this situation, persisting in our churches and church retreat centers, etc. Now, having said that, one must give credit though to the men of God or these pastors and even some fetish priests, etc., who are the last option for families. You understand? They are doing the best they can, and I'm saying that you wouldn't blame the churches so much, but the government, because the government has abdicated its responsibility. You understand? If it was a minister needing heart surgery, the government, whichever party he belongs to, would be quickly flown out to South Africa or to the UK, etc. But they cannot, for the life of Ghanaians, seem to resource our mental health people. If you go to Accra Psychiatric Hospital or the Pantine Psychiatric Hospital, and in any case, the ratio of mental health professionals to the mental health population in Ghana is abysmal. So we believe that this is a critical, issue, and what is happening to this elderly lady who was lynched, creates an opening for the president to take a certain action which might yet salvage his floundering presidency.
Thank you very much. I have just 2 minutes left.
Sure. Okay, but of course, I appreciate it.
This situation is very unfortunate, and it is something that whenever it happens, it once again calls on us as a nation to look at our system very clearly. Kwame, let me first say that there are so many ways of aging, and when yours come and is going in a particular direction, possibly you thank your God. Somebody might, his aging process will just start with the waist, being a waist pain. Somebody could be the leg. Somebody could just be some chronic cough that, just coughing out. Another person, it could be dementia. You realize that your father or your mother these days, when you talk to her, she doesn't even remember the conversation that you've had. Other people too, they talk by heart. The way they are talking and other things. I've ever saved a person at my hospital because my hospital was very close by, and they just carried the person there. What was the problem? It was that this particular woman is saying that she killed her daughters. She has killed 1 or 2 of her grandchildren, and that is she herself who is saying it, and she has been saying it for the past 2 or 3 months, and that she wants to also die. And somebody is now sick in the house there, and they think that she's the one. She has even agreed that she's the one what killing her. And so, in order to save the person who she's killing, they decided to kill her. You know, then somebody decided, but there's a hospital here, let us bring her here. After beating her, and the face was swollen. Oh. And she was assaulted. Yeah. So they brought her there because of the assault. And that was a good Samaritan who was standing by. I said, no. The way she's bleeding and other things, let's send her to a nearby hospital before we decide what to do. And that's how she got saved. And I must tell you that this woman, if you look at her pictures, she used to sell at the market until she got to that 76 or 77 years. You know, and she was married, had children, and even have 2 children outside the country. Wow. The most successful ones are outside the country. And they bring money for her upkeep. And you realize that it's just old age. And possibly the lack of love and care around her, she started speaking by heart and beating the children here and there. And yes, and finally, as if, it's a complete mental case. A mental case completely. Yeah. And so some of these things that, I don't know what that woman was talking about, but
is she dead, like they killed her?
Oh, yes. She's murdered.
The woman died. The case.
The old lady.
The old lady.
I've not seen the video.
Yes, let's.
The president should directly intervene, honestly.
So I'm saying that.
So they just leave the woman like that.
And people were standing there, and I was asking myself, is there no single person who?
It was at a funeral ceremony.
Exactly. And that pronouncement was made, and then
they just lynched her.
By who? Who made that pronouncement?
I'm told there's a fetish priestess.
All those idiots must be arrested.
That is it.
Exactly.
And I'm urging our chiefs and other people.
Where is this?
Please.
Somewhere in the
when somebody accuses somebody of being a witch or a wizard.
Kafaba. The place is called Kafaba.
The one who has committed a crime is not a witch or wizard. The one who has committed a crime is the one who pronounced that woman or man a witch or a wizard.
That's the point.
That fetish priest should be by now arrested.
Anyway, somebody was telling me
it should be. I mean,
let me also.
Yes.
You know, for me, the act is very barbaric.
Very.
Thank you for that choice of word.
It is so medieval. I can't understand that in this 21st century we can have such a happening. And I have a challenge with the culture of the people there, because for me this is not something that is new. I'm told that it is an act that is known to everybody that lives in that area. But ask yourself, how can a whole community gather and lynch an old woman? And we are told that nobody even knows the whereabouts of the fetish priestess as of now. Police are still looking for her. Can you imagine? And the police is just putting a sum assurance of 2,000 cedis on whoever.
No.
I mean, how can you encourage people to even, bring out the woman? So the sum assurance is even too small. I think that there are people who know the existence of this act for a very long time, and they must be brought to book. I am so worried. I watched the video and I was so disturbed that we can have such an act.
I've not seen the video. I'm not sure I'll be able to look at the video.
No, it's serious. It's serious. It's serious.
Kwame, I wanted to.
But there's a witchcraft act in UK.
Well, I never knew that.
There's a Gambaga witches camp, and we looked on.
And then there's the Trokosi thing too. What we are talking about,
it has been banned, but they are still doing it.
Yeah, but you see, all of these things that are happening, right, are happening because we have allowed some of these things to go on for all these years. We have a place called Gambaga Witches Camp.
Kwame, you see, this
and
is,
we're happy.
Kwame, this is why Ghanaians.
There's a culture and opinion.
You see, this is why Ghanaians.
Absolutely. And we're happy.
Kwame, this is why Ghanaians voted for the human rights lawyer, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, to nip all of these things. And Nana Akufo-Addo is there, and these things are rampant, and it is political. It needs political leadership. And we have a human rights lawyer. No, the woman is dead. How can we take our time when somebody's grandmother is dead? The president should sit up. The president, the human rights lawyer.
Hold on, Soprano.
We should look at the core of the matter. It's not political. It is cultural.
The action is political to stop it.
No, take your time. You see, it is how people think. You rightly said that the chocolate has been outlawed since 98 or so.
People are still practicing.
People are still practicing it. So who are there? All of those things do they bring those issues to the attention of the law enforcers?
No, but the law enforcers should find out. Who should bring it to their attention?
But the people themselves are hiding and doing it.
But that's why we have intelligence.
You see, it is psyche. It is the people's mind
to support this activity.
Nobody is supporting it.
But I think the government should be proactive to stop it.
Yes,
no, but when you say government is the one who has caused this,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
But you're blaming government for that.
Yeah, we should have been swift. You see, my challenge is that it took a lot of people to put
on. Do you know they are shielding the fetish?
That's the whole point I'm making.
They're shielding it. No,
even beyond that, it took the intervention of some well-meaning Ghanaians to put this matter out, and for them to call on the security agencies to act swiftly before the police did this job.
Exactly.
And for me, that's the problem. And you see, it goes to the heart of what James is saying. What James is saying, you don't appreciate it. James is telling you that we know it's a wrong. We know. But the point is that it has been there's a socio-cultural underpinnings to some of these things. And so even if the police knows it's wrong, they cannot immediately act because they feel, well, there's some cultural explanation.
Yeah, but Kwame, that's the whole point. Yeah, but Kwame, that's the whole president. That's the whole president who's a human rights lawyer. We expect that.
I agree with you.
I let us down. We are very sad about
the president. You see, let's be fair. The president cannot do everything.
But Kwame,
the president cannot do everything. Right?
Yes.
And what James is saying is that if it is brought to the attention of the persons who are supposed to act, and they fail to act, then you can hold the president accountable.
Yeah, but the point is that
the point is that
people who willingly accept.
That is the culture.
It doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right. I mean, it doesn't make it right. Look, even for albinos, in some part of this country, they cannot go there.
But Kwame, you see, all I'm saying in a sentence is that we have a renowned human rights lawyer as president who is an elderly Ghanaian who knows these situations persist in this country, and he's been sitting in the Flagstaff House for 4 years, and His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, our dear leader, has not taken action to begin to check these things. It's not too late for President Akufo-Addo in the twilight of his administration
my time
to do something about it. Please, President Akufo-Addo,
tell the MPP activists to stop blaming the blame game politics, for it's easier said than done. From Awa of Jomoro, half Asin. This one says CBP should join GUM, since all of them have the same Nkrumah ideologue. Why won't you ask GUM to join CPP?
And GUM is stealing CPP.
KOD is rather PNC. Hey, this man says it's still PNC. Okay. Hi, I want you to visit Tampieni in one municipal of the Upper West region on our light issue. From John in Wa. People have already started telling me where to visit. I will do that, but I need, like I said, I need support. I mean, I'm sure I'll come to you guys. Tell the MPP man not to pretend he has not seen such a barbaric act before. What is the difference between the lynching of the woman and the Ayawaso and Kaswa gunshots? Hey, Ghana, for wow. Good morning to you, KOD. And that Dr. Nkrumah, hold on. All that Dr. Nkrumah did was to hand over book to Akufo-Addo and prophesied to Akufo-Addo that he will be president when he was under 10 years. Now President Akufo-Addo turns his back on Nkrumah to destroy all he did. God is his own interpreter and will make it plain soon. I am Akuba from Nzema Anyinase. I was in Nzema land and it's a look, all their rules are I'm a Kofi Boa. The guy they form. I'm a Kofi Boy is just the guy. KOD, please kindly tell the CPP communicator that it won't be out of place nor order for his party to partner in a coalition with the NDC or any other in the coming election. Thanks. Ni Ago, Daddy from La sent in this one. Good morning to you, KOD and your panelists. I agree. Some prophets give wrong prophecies, but on the issue of the old lady's lynching, it was traditional priest who caused her death. Thank you. I agree with you too, 100%. For the record, it was the SDP that was formed by Ibrahim Muhammad lawyer and UNC. That one too was led by Pawili, who broke away from PFP, led by Victor Owusu, that brought PMP to power in 1979 to defeat PFP Abubakar, aka Mr. Orange. Hey, Charlie, my viewers, they know the history. They know the history. They made the money so sweet. Do in Bolga says, okay, read my messages, please. Clients are in pain for long. you will be changing people's life. Okay. Good morning, Pan-African Television. This government is good at lying. Even the president made a promise to DKM. Until now, no one has been paid except the 10% that was paid by the NDC. And in the mid-year budget, they didn't say anything about DKM. The budget on microfinance was from 2017, but DKM was closed in 2015. 5 years now, how will the DKM clients get their payment when their name was not included in the budget? KOD, please find out from the MPP man for me. I'm not sure he would even have answers to this question. Good morning to you, KOD. You are absolutely right, because that was what they said. Every village will benefit from the so-called one village, one dam. Thank you. Sam from Laboni sent in this one. This one says, good morning to you. I'm a medical student in rotation in Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in Banjul in Gambia, who is in need of $6,000.
Very ambitious.
To complete my Doctor of Medicine course and to specialize as a gynecologist after completion. I'll be very grateful if I'm considered for... I didn't know Mr. Pratt has a charity program. Fred A.B. sent in this one. Fred, I'll find out for you, okay? Don't worry. Good morning to you, KOD and the panelists. NDC is poised to winning the 2020 elections because MPP has miserably failed the good people of Ghana. A.M. Gufran from Damango. Good morning to you, Pan-African Television. Please ask the MPP man for me whether their party knows the difference between the truth and the lies. Bright from Adaklu. Dave. I hope I got it right. Nkoswa Nana Akon Frimpong Esquire. Since structures and taxis can now take passengers to full capacity, it should be mandatory in Achim Kotoku that anyone who boards them wears the recommended face mask. No one should be allowed to board if they just cover their faces with handkerchiefs or don't wear at all. Thank you very, very much, sir. This one says, Kwame, another fake promise. Ghana is not the president who promised Ghanaians. Is it not the president who promised Ghanaians of half of the electricity bill? What are we seeing? 70% increment. Kojo Kona Ojina Kwentia promised.
Kojo Kona Ojina Kwentia.
From Amos in Asimfosu. Good morning to you, KOD. I'm Evans from Akosombo. What are our leaders doing about those mobile money doublers on TV nowadays? Do we actually have elderly, wise, and visionary leaders in the country? I agree with you. This issue, everyday lotto. Yo. Kwame, kudos. Beyond the MPP and NDC is possible, but not on trial. Tell my honorable panelists that no youth in Ghana is going to take them serious based on promises, since they have no idea of what is on the grounds. We are going to boycott elections for a national policy. We, the youth of this beloved nation, should be enlightened to take this stand. You're a GM man 2020. Thank you. Ras Mega. Ras, I am with you. Join my party, National Youth Movement. Good morning to you, Champion KOD. What is Obrigboahin saying? Because of what he said, I will vote against Nanado and the MPP because I want to see him kill himself. But Obrigboahin has never made sense on that. Oh, Mazade. Entry from Asafan. It's here because of what the man do. He go just go vote. You won't see the man die. Good morning to you, KOD. The CPP man has finished everything. Say Boza to him. Say Akufo-Addo, what a tribalistic government. Let's kick him out. Okay. But you are sending this message from which country is that? Is it Gambia? Plus 225. And you want to kick out Akufo-Addo from Gambia. Joe Banson in Akropon says MPP redefining factory and dam. Look, the messages are a lot, and I cannot finish reading all of them. Now, we are grateful to your government administration. I and my family will vote for you again because of what you have done for Ghanaians. Good leader deserves another 4 terms. Four more for Nana to do more. Regards to Honorable Frederick Opare Ansa, Honorable Ike Apeo Jesse, MC for New Job and South from Opare in Suhum. I used to live in Achimasafu, so I know those places very, very well. There are people who are not happy with me because they say I don't read their messages. Saint Eel, Paul Adega, Abubakar Sadiq, Sharif Sayaldo, Al-Hassan Mubarak, Dorin Chakbo. They say I don't read their messages.
What happened to Nanegbe today?
Kokumauli Nanegbe. I have seen a message from Honorable Timothy Atabwadi Awuntiri. If I don't read it, I'll be slaughtered. Good morning to you, bro. Very interesting guest, the CPP man you have in the studio. He is right, Mom, but very funny. Timothy Atabwadi Awentirim says, good morning to you. Watching you live from Tamale. But let my MPP brother know that Lawyer Obri, by his incessant and unguarded utterance, has made the work of MPP communicators extremely daunting and unpleasant. At his age, experience, and as a lawyer, he must know better. For God's sake, he is not a foot soldier. Honorable Timothy Atabwadi Awentirim sent in this particular message. Good morning to you, KO. The fact still remains that MPP has woefully failed in their policy implementation programs. What has come out of inner city and Zongo development, 1D, 1F, 1 million, 1 constituency, what a beautiful slogan that amounts to nothing. NDC didn't give slogans but delivered. Commander Sugar Factory at least speak for itself. Kumasi Shoe Factory, etc. Talk, they say, is in the chief. God have mercy. George sent this one in from East Legon. Or no sooner they are or they Abba Enono. Let me say a big thank you to Dr. Nawaane. Thank you to you, my very good friend Soprano. And sincerely, thank you to you, James Brown.
Makabe in Kumasi says hello. He wants to greet you. He's a #1 fan of
Makabe
in Kumasi.
Makabe. Good morning to you, Makabe. What the CPP man is saying is very true. But as you told him, they should well organize themselves and put more voices to appear capable of the vision. Deladem from Accra sent in this one. So the CPP, it is not impossible for the CPP to change the political landscape. It is very possible. However, that possibility finds expression in the commitment that must be so demonstrated by the persons who have been given the opportunity to man the affairs of the party. And in so doing, you must eschew from your party structure all forms of nepotistic attitude, of bootlicking attitude, of pandering to the whims and caprices of the party that is in power, and look at the elections as a make or break one for the CPP. And that is the only way the CPP betting your fund into my preference.
We will take your advice.
Fellow Ghanaians, if you do that, the CPP will bounce back, and the CPP will forever look forward and not look backwards. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for making sure. Thank you very much for sharing with us your thoughts and messages. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer and the champion of liberty, of human equality. Let's salute him, fellow Ghanaians, the nation's founder, Sergeant Kwame Nkrumah. May God bless him, Ghana showboy, Africa's great son, Sergeant Dr. Nkrumah.
We are ready, waiting for you to come and use our facility again after closing the hotel for 3 months. We closed because we wanted to